Hello everyone, so if you're not aware of this, recently there was a new update in Rise of Nations which basically added nuclear weapon inside this game. First, a big congrats to the developer for passing 50 million visits. But anyways, the wiki page and my viewers seem to be very skeptical about this update, so let us analyze it and I will give you my opinion on this update. Before we actually talk deeply about the video, let me make sure that you guys know this is some facts about the update, also with my opinion and other people's opinion. First, let's talk about the cost and the price of a nuclear weapon, and I'm talking about a single warhead. To put into account, now nuke is the single-handedly most expensive unit inside this game. Basically, to make one of these units, it will cost you the following. $1.25 billion for one unit of nuke, 500 manpower, 40 enriched uranium, which require you to build inside a uranium enricher. One of these uranium enricher will gonna cost you $500 million and it will gonna take you 6 months to finish the construction. You will also have to research the uranium enrichment technology, and to top this off, it will require you 20 units of pure uranium just to make 0.1 unit of enriched uranium. The nuclear design technology, and I'm talking about the entire tech tree, because in total it will require you 7,000 research points to make one nuke. A silo, this requires 500 steel and $600 million, and an upkeep of $4 million per nuclear unit. So basically it is a really costly unit to make in terms of resources, research point money and time. But also bear in mind that only a few nations in the game have access to pure uranium. And if we do the math for the amount of uranium required to make a nuclear weapon, we can replace 0.1 by 20 and times it by 400. So basically in order to make one nuke, you will need 8,000 pure uranium in stock just to make one. So in the last part, I've mentioned that only a few nations have access to uranium resources at all. So yeah, if you think about it, everyone in the game will start off trying to compete with each other in order to pick nations that have uranium. Usually now after the update, you'll see a lot of people rushing to take Russia or Kazakhstan. But if they doesn't have a chance to pick one of these nations, money is even more important now because you need a lot of them to make nuke. So it will be not uncommon to see people rushing for rich countries like India, the US, China or Japan. But for a country like Japan, there is another problem that we should really consider and talk about. Well, if you know it already, you know that Japan is an island nation that is famous for having nearly no resources at all. Let's say that China and Japan would go to war. China have access to uranium and Japan doesn't, so their only option would be to trade in. And if we do the math, you can get 20 times 400, which is equal to 8,000 uranium ores just to make a nuclear weapon. And it is very unlikely that people are gonna sell to you 8,000 uranium ores. Okay, so for this part, this is where I think the impact of nukes should really be noted. Basically, when you launch a nuclear weapon against a target, the enemy will have nothing to counter it, like nothing. Although he can counter you when you are making a nuclear weapon, but he cannot when you launch the weapon. Let's say that you target a specific area with a nuke and you launched it into the air. When the nuke hit the ground, it doesn't only destroy the city, but it will destroy everything around a 100 kilometers radius. But if your nuke hit the center of the city, these will happen. First, approximately half of the city population will be killed. Secondly, the population of the city and the country will never gonna increase. Third, whatever the city tier was, it will gonna reset it back to tier 1. Fourth, the manpower and the money of the city will become 0. And fifth, the whole city will be scorched and eventually recover. Here's something that I want to talk about, especially for the second reason, which is that the population of the country will never gonna increase. This poses a really huge problem to a certain country, especially Japan again. You see, Tokyo and Osaka have nearly half of the population of Japan. And say if Russia or China just launch a nuke into the heart of these two cities, the entire country will be forever gone, crippled, you name it. Basically, Japan will lose nearly half of her population, and this directly links into the manpower and the tax income gain. Not to mention that her stability will also plummet as well. My first suggestion, as with many other people in the fandom community, is that the population should be able to regrow after getting hit by a nuke. My second suggestion is, I'm not sure if this goes against the real life situation or not, but make uranium more accessible. By this I mean we can add some more places that people can actually mine uranium ores. To sum it all up, I think that nuclear is super overpowered in the long run, especially in the endgame, and it made the game pretty hard for people who play the poorer nation and the nation that doesn't have access to uranium. So bear in mind that I am not all out against this update. So that was pretty much it for this video, a pretty long one, but I'm just telling some information also with my own opinion and other people's opinion on this update and how we can make it better. But yeah, the video is mostly about opinion, so I hope you enjoy it. If you do, hit that like and subscribe button because it really helped content creator like me out.